Bible tells us that God hardened Pharaoh's heart for his purposes. The Old Testament gives numerous examples of Israel being conquered by other countries who were evil and did despicable acts. So the logical question is, why? Why did God allow evil empires to conquer Israel at times? Why was Hitler allowed so much power? Or Lenin, or Stalin, or Mussolini, or many others? There's a long list of evil dictators in our world's history. Now, we know these dictators were allowed by God to rule. Daniel 2:20 and 21 says, "Praise the name of God forever and ever, for he has all wisdom and power. He controls the course of world events. He removes kings and sets up other kings." And then in Romans 13:1 we read, "For there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God." So how can we reconcile this granting of authority to evil people with the character of God, who is the complete opposite of evil? The key lies in accepting what we will never understand, the mind or will of God. He accomplishes his purposes not only through good people and good circumstances, but often through evil people and bad circumstances. For example, the early church was terribly persecuted by evil rulers. This sent many believers fleeing for their lives, but God worked through these horrific circumstances by then spreading the gospel through those who were fleeing to other parts of the world. So in other words, people came to hear about Jesus and put their faith in him because believers fled persecution. You could say this was the beginning of the Great Commission. Also, as we read in Genesis 50, what man intends for evil, God intends for good. The story of Joseph. We also know that evil people will be accountable to God for their actions too. They'll be condemned for rejecting Jesus and spend eternity in hell. Remember, we're only able to see a small sliver of the big picture, and we must trust God to accomplish his purposes, even when his methods don't make sense to us.